Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church in Columbia, South Carolina, where we're part of the ELCA. I'm Pastor Gary Lodehold. Well, throughout this year, as we have taken a week each month and looked at the faithful witness of many men and women throughout the ages, I have enjoyed telling you their stories and of the many things they did for God. As we continue this week to consider those the Church commemorates in October, we come to a man named Ignatius. And with his story, we have something a little different. There is almost nothing that we know of Ignatius's life. In fact, if you want to get right down to it, all we have is 7 letters that he wrote to some churches while he was on his way to his execution in Rome. That's it. But still, Ignatius is accounted as one of the most influential early Christian fathers. He was apparently born in Syria about the year 35 and came to Christianity early. Tradition says that he was named the Bishop of Antioch in Syria, and according to some, he was the second bishop of the city. The first was St. Peter himself, and the tradition is that St. Peter appointed Ignatius to his post. One of his friends was a man named Polycarp, also another well-known early church father, and it is through Polycarp that we have an accounting that Ignatius was martyred. Now, as I said, Ignatius is known mostly through 7 letters he wrote to various churches while he was on his way to execution in Rome. These letters did several important things, particularly for the early church. In them, Ignatius argued strongly for the divinity of Christ. That may seem like a no-brainer to us, but remember this was just a few years after Jesus died and rose, and the issue was raging at the time. A competing view, Gnosticism, was very popular, which would have denied the bodily resurrection of Jesus and claimed that Jesus was just a spirit. Ignatius stood for Jesus being divine, following the lead of the Apostle Thomas, who saw the risen Lord and exclaimed, "My Lord and my God." Ignatius was also important in establishing the beginnings of ecclesiology, or what may be referred to as the formation and structure of the church. In those very early days of Christianity, the church was in the process of being formed, and Ignatius offered a structure to follow. He suggested that there be one bishop with everyone loyal to him, followed by presbyters and deacons to serve in the church and among the people. This was a big step forward. As for Ignatius, what we seem to know is that he was sent to Rome to be executed. That's where other difficulties begin. His letters refer to the fact that he is in chains and accompanied by 10 Roman soldiers. There are several odd things about that. One would think that the execution of a solitary Christian wouldn't warrant the expense of sending him all the way to Rome when it would just be so much easier to chop off his head locally. So, some have suggested that he was a Roman citizen and, like St. Paul, appealed to Caesar. However, it was illegal to put a Roman citizen in chains this way. When he got to Rome, he wasn't executed like a Roman citizen through beheading, but rather was thrown to the lions and other beasts in the Colosseum. Some speculate that he was summoned by the Caesar for this purpose, to serve as an example and a warning to other early Christians. Truthfully, no one knows. So maybe what we can learn from the life of Ignatius is that the call to be faithful can have lasting impact. We don't know much about him, but still he is remembered today. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.